Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode, unless you are listening to this, way after you release it. In which case, it is a very old episode of Cartoon Kilowatt. Okay? With us, we have T.Whales.
It's T.Whales.
T.Whales is not ready for that T.Whale.
T.Whales is not ready for T.Whales.
And Stray.
I strayed away last week.
He did.
Were you planning that this whole time?
No, that was on the slot.
No, but now he has it.
Yeah.
And he will always use it.
There's no reason to always use it.
He will always use it.
No, I won't.
I'm on the warpath.
He doesn't want to go astray.
Don't do this to me.
Don't start this. We don't need more of this.
So, today, Stray's gonna start us off. Last time, McFisticuffs showed up instead as a substitute.
Yes.
Decided to hit us with his love of Transformers. So this time, Stray's here to take his proper place
Yes.
on the throne.
The throne of sheep is very soft. It's very nice. None of my subjects were hurt making it.
That was a lie.
No.
Okay, I
not
made
like-
that throne,
It's not.
and I could tell you, I heard some sheep on the way.
Wow. I asked for cruelty-free throne.
I want to
deliver. What you deliver?
Now I want to go to McDonald's and be like, hey, can I get a cruelty-free cheeseburger?
Okay, so on to my recommendation.
Are these steaks cruelty-free? Yes, go on.
Is this... Okay, sorry, I was going to make is this kosher joke, but...
I want my steak to suffer. I want to taste its anguish.
It releases too much acid, I find, when you make it suffer, so the meat's not as good.
They weren't doing it right.
You gotta torture it in all the right places.
I want this simmered in its own tears.
Only the gypsies.
But yes, continue, please.
Okay, so my recommendation for this week, if these guys have noticed what I've been playing on Steam, would have noticed, I've been playing a lot of Guilty Gear on Steam. They just released Guilty Gear Xrd Sign on Steam. It's a great port. The netcode's not that bad as long as you find the right lobbies, and it's just fun, fighting game fun.
So, you like Guilty Gear better than Blaze Blue?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Blaze Blue?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
Of course.
Like, Guilty Gear was the one game that was constantly on my PSP.
It's also very 90s.
It is very 90s. Going from Guilty Gear Xrd Sign and trying to go look at Guilty Gear XX again, yeah.
What makes the difference?
Xrd Sign is on the Unreal Engine.
So it just looks better.
It looks better, it's 3D, it's the newest version. You get new characters. Finn is around.
You said it's 3D, but you should be specific. It's not a 3D fighter. It is a
Yes.
2D fighter, but they make it look like it's 3D fighter that looks like
It's
a
rendered.
2D fighter.
It's
Like, it
rendered
looks-
in 3D, but is played out like a 2D fighter.
Yeah, it's cell shaded, so it looks
Yeah.
it looks like a sprite fighter, like a sprite
Yeah.
2D fighter, but it's not.
Which is where KOF should be taking notes.
That's also going 90s.
Well, KOF looks really bad right now.
It looks like a 90s fighter.
It looks like KOF. I'm just going to say that, but I definitely recommend it if you're into fighting games. Guilty Gear Xrd Sign, go get it. So I have more people to play against, and hopefully not lose.
I mean, there's so many versions of Guilty Gear.
Yes, but this is the newest one, and the next one isn't coming until spring.
Does it take place story-wise afterwards?
Yes,
or is the story like recycled, or is it in the middle somewhere?
No. It's the furthest point in the story right now.
After the action game.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Is it after the action game?
Yeah, Sin is around.
Sin is, what is he, like 5 years old?
Playable.
Is he 5?
7, I think.
7, and a full-grown man. Which relates to what we're reviewing today.
Teenage boy.
Which relates to what we're reviewing today.
Yes, it does, actually. Good segue.
Segue so nice you have to say it twice.
Yes.
Alright, Stray, get those fingers snapping now. So today, we are talking about
It's
Thundercats.
Oh.
Thunder. Oh, I was hoping for you to say, like, how he does it. Oh.
I was not going to.
I would have loved it.
So, we looked at the first 3 episodes of Thundercats. So, thing about Thundercats, with me, never watched it. Always known about it. Actually, let me step back. Why are we talking about Thundercats? Because this is Toonami Tuesday on Wednesday. So, once a month, we will be going back and watching the Toonami as it progresses, and Thundercats is like the first thing on Toonami back when Mortar, was it Mortar?
Yeah, Moltar.
Yeah, Mortar was the host of Toonami, which is super easy to forget now. Like, Cartoon Network and Space Ghost have this thing, like they've been together forever. And Space Ghost has been a part about every part of Cartoon Network.
Mm-hmm.
And that's super interesting. But yeah, so...
Oh no.
Toonami Tuesdays on Wednesdays, and Thundercats pretty much kicked Toonami off, so that's what we're talking about. I always skipped it. And then watched Sailor Moon.
Oh yeah, by the time we watched it. But at that time, when Toonami first came out, it was Thundercats, Cartoon Roulette, Voltron, and The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest.
Yeah.
Sailor Moon came a year later.
I didn't watch The Real Adventures until like it started coming on at late at night.
Yeah, me too. Like, I started watching Real Adventures after it left Toonami.
Yeah. With Thundercats, I never watched it. So something about it just never interested me, and I knew it had a lot of hype behind it. A lot of people did enjoy Thundercats. I think they were older people, maybe not my generation, because it's not like we never played Thundercats on the playground, right? We never talked about Thundercats on the playground. It's not our thing.
It originally came out before our time. Like, I think its original run was done by the time we became aware of stuff.
Yes. Actually,
especially me, because I'm.
Oh yeah, especially Stray. Like, he's a baby.
Well, I was also in the Hong Kong at the time.
Yeah. Okay. The year we were born, except for Stray.
Yes, because Stray is a youngin.
The year we were born, Thundercats ended.
The main thing about Thundercats is my mom used to watch it.
Huh.
She used to watch Thundercats. Me, it was just not my thing. I would watch a bunch of older cartoons, just not Thundercats. I don't know why. I never hopped on that bandwagon. It just honestly, I think I just didn't like Lionel's design. Yeah, that's me. Any of you guys watched the old Thundercats?
I did when it was on Toonami. And I think when it wasn't on Toonami, like when it was its own separate thing on Cartoon Network. Like I only watched it on Cartoon Network when it came out, but I watched it. I don't think I ever like saw the series like beginning to end. Like I saw there were a lot like long parts of like episode by episode. Then there were times it felt like it skipped or it went back or like I don't know like when something ended, but as I watched it, it finally got to near the point where it ended, but I don't remember ever watching the last episode. Or maybe I did. I didn't think it was the last episode. I don't know. I was a kid.
That happens a lot.
But I liked the show back when I was a kid. I liked it. It was interesting. Like I never saw like the beginning episodes till like much later. Like I started like in the middle. I was like thrown into it, and I don't know. I liked it was action. Things exploded. Chitara. She started a lot of furry. Her and Minerva Minx.
Let's get started with episode 1 of Thundercats. And the first thing I like to talk about because that's the title. Because I always like to examine the opening sequence. Thundercats has a great opening. It's exciting, it's dynamic, it's upbeat.
They're all naked.
The animation doesn't get better than in the opening.
They're naked.
Well, I'm talking about the theme song opening.
Oh, I thought you meant
like the legitimate opening.
Okay. Yeah. Wow, we know who's a furry in this group.
They're naked. When I was a kid, I couldn't get over that. When I watched this episode, I was watching. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot they didn't wear clothes, but they don't have genitals. I don't understand that. My mind can't wrap around. Like, I don't know what's going on here. This what? And I'll get to that.
By the fur.
I will get to that later when their leader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, explains it. Like when we'll get to that part, but we're on the opening theme song right now.
Yes. The lyrics are super lazy.
Thunder.
I feel like some guy just woke up one day, wrote this an hour before they were supposed to.
Thundercats.
Yes.
With the visuals and the tempo of the music, it really grabs you. And, you know, another thing I like is that it kind of shows you what every character is capable of, what every character does, without explaining it to you. You know, it gives you a little sample. So, to me, like, just watching this opening and how exciting and interesting it is, it's no wonder people watch the series. I mean, that will grab your attention right there. Yeah. But, on to the episode itself, and like T.Whales was saying, everyone's naked.
Except Jaga, their leader.
Except for Jaga. Wan Kenobi.
I mean, like, they have belts. So I'm, like, wondering, like, do they have pants pulled up?
Yeah, they have belts and they have boots. Well, no, they don't have belts. Chitara has a belt.
No.
The rest of them are straight naked.
No, I think Pantro had a belt. Hold on, let me look this up. Pantro had a belt.
Oh, I hope your safe search was on.
I'm on the wiki.
Okay, good.
But that's like... That's club logic, you know? So, like, that's the equivalent of someone going to Walmart in a long t-shirt and some stockings, and that's it. It's weird, but maybe
you can pass it
makes
off.
A lot of sense. No, not that they can pass it off. They can because they're cats. But maybe it makes sense. So let's talk about Jaga. You know, everyone's naked with boots.
Except
for Jaga, who's wearing a giant adult diaper.
Yes.
Because he's old.
Yes.
Like, they've just escaped from Krypton because no one listened to Kal-El's parents.
They're escaping.
He said that Krypton was about to explode.
From Cat Krypton.
So they're looking for a new home.
Yes.
I would like to point something out. Okay,
Yes.
so it's not just them, like they're like in like a small fleet. I'm guessing these are the upper class, the ones that could get away or something. I don't know
Yes.
because we don't
Yes.
see others. But I want to point this out. Even though there are other starships with them, they're lost, of course, because we don't hear
Yeah.
about them. But this
They're
is a
shot out
crew.
of the sky.
This is a crew of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 people plus a pet, and they have the biggest ship. Where is everybody else? Like, did they not like? Could it like? Is it that they couldn't get there in time, or is like they're just the most important, or like did they only get the smallest amount of people free? Because I feel like they would have known their planet is going to explode, and they would have like got as many people aboard these ships as possible. Or is this like Transformers, like the last ones? Like I don't know. I don't know.
Well, this is two things. One that I'm going to reference more in the future, and one more about the past. One thing, like you said, they are nobles.
Yeah,
These are not the poor people.
yeah,
They left all the poor people to die.
yeah.
Or
That's
all
what
the poor people were on the convoy ships.
could be too. Yeah, or they were on other ships that left already.
Yep.
But yeah, noblesse oblige.
And I would like to see what happened before and what led up to the explosion.
I don't know if they actually cover that later on. If I remember right, like their planet comes back for some reason or another. I can't remember why, but I don't think that people come back. Um, but I don't think they ever like explain anything else.
They've
So
never
in this
explained
section,
a lot of these things, by the way. Because where does Mumra come from?
No, I mean you can guess it, but we'll talk about that when number show.
Yes.
so they do kind of introduce you to everybody a little bit in the very beginning on the ship, and you get your first look at everybody. Everybody looks like their namesake except Lionel, who doesn't really look like a lion,
He's supposed to be a lion cub.
Yeah.
but he never looks like a lion.
Well, that's they. Yeah, he doesn't. He looks like a troll doll.
Kind of, yes.
And I think Lionel is definitely like the prince because he doesn't have combat experience, and you see like Wily Kid and Wily Cat are around his age, and they're more like competent in combat and stuff.
Yeah.
Wily Kid and Wily Cat, why didn't they grow up in the pods?
When we get there.
God damn it, Stray! We're following a pattern here.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
So jumping the gun.
Yeah.
Quit straying from the path.
No.
No! Stop that pun, T.Whales.
Then
Stop it.
stop straying. Okay.
So yeah, what I was saying about everyone being naked, there's like 7 of them on this ship, and the future of their race pretty much relies on Titara's loins.
And Wily
She
Cat.
is essentially their future.
Wily Cat as well, because there are 2 females.
Yeah, but she's like a little girl.
No, I'm saying, no, but the future, when she grows up.
It's gonna be creepy because then everyone's gonna be like super old. And thing is, Whitey Cat, is that her brother?
That's her twin brother.
Because he can't hit that.
No.
That's his sister.
So
her choice, her options are just all old people.
I don't want to talk about what happened in the comics. I'll tell you later.
No.
It's disturbing comics.
Okay, we aren't going to discuss. We're just jumping the gun everywhere here.
No. Yeah. That's why everyone's naked in the beginning. Orgies, man.
No, because everything was peaceful.
Well, they do give them clothes.
Yeah.
Because they decided that they were going to try to go to another planet and they don't know what's there.
Yeah, and the clothing will protect them. Because I guess on their planet they had like no need for like clothing protection or whatever. So
even though apparently they've been at war with these mutants for a long time.
Yeah.
And
I don't know why they're called mutants.
I don't know.
We have never seen what a normal person looks like to them.
No, they're all like animal people, like monkey men, lizard men.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Maybe there was. I thought maybe they were supposed to be cat people, but then got mutated to other animals.
No, they're just multiple races because they have bird people and rat people.
Did the rat people incidentally have
The
someone
rat
named?
people are their leaders.
Do not make a Captain Planet reference.
I was going to.
No, they have Ratilla and Rataro,
Okay. Is he related to Hamtaro?
captain of the Rat Star.
Is this where biker mice comes from?
He might have had some children. He might have had some children around the galaxy.
Well,
But
is he related to Hamtaro? Is what I'm asking.
no.
Okay, but yeah, they're escaping the
Panthro's
mutants.
clothes.
Yeah.
How is that protection? He's half naked still.
It's like chainmail bikini, except for a man.
He has spike suspenders, which if I remember right, I think he can shoot out the spikes.
Wait, what?
I don't know
We
if
never
it was
got
this.
to that.
I don't know if it's this one or if it's like in the remake, but I remember him shooting out the spikes.
Huh. Well, the ship gets attacked
Yep.
by the mutants that we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, and they have
And
no
I do want to take this aside to say there's a scene where Snarf, we haven't talked about Snarf much. Snarf is Snarf.
Yeah, Snarf.
And Snarf is trying to protect Lionel because Lionel's a little kid, and it looks like he's giving Lionel a blowjob.
I didn't
And
notice that.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I'm not going back to this episode to see it.
It's pretty terrible.
And Snippy,
They get attacked by the mutants. They get attacked by the mutants, and like T.Whales was saying, mutants just seem to be all the other animals that aren't cats.
Yeah.
I guess they were originally, like what I was saying, the cats were the originals, and then all the mutants are just deformed babies.
I feel like maybe the Thundercats were the assholes. Like, if they pissed off every other creature except for their own cat race, you know how the saying goes, if you think everyone's an asshole, you might be the asshole.
Yes. So, what you're telling me is they're like humans in X-Men.
Yes. Maybe. If the yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Thundercats are the humans. And that's why their planets got destroyed.
Yes.
That's the mind canon.
Because all the mutants rose up against them.
The mutants are from a different planet.
Oh. Damn it. We had a perfect analogy going here. Why did you have to ruin things, Whales?
Because it had to keep you in check. See, I didn't use it this time.
The mutants attack the ship, and there's this scene where they meet Lionel for the first time. They've already talked about the sword. Jagawan has given Lionel the sword. Lionel barely uses this sword.
Yes.
Like, he's struggling.
He's still a little kid.
He's struggling hard.
I said, like, he is like a kid. He cannot do anything.
Yeah.
And he still scares the people off. Just because the sword is shining, but it's not doing anything. So it's like they quit way too easily.
Because they're
fight scene or anything.
It's like oh, he's a legitimate heir, and the true power of the sword scares him because they're evil.
Mm-hmm.
I would have just smacked that thing out of this boy's hand. Like, it will never be easier than that.
Yeah.
They had it on a silver platter. They could just take that sword. But no, they decided to run away.
Because they're bad guys.
You know what? That does happen a lot. There's a lot of fleeing here.
Mm-hmm.
So expect that. So after the bad guys attack, and I do want to say this about the attack. It was unexpected the way that it played out. Because it did play out something like SWAT Cats or Macross. You know, I was not expecting spaceship battles in Thundercats.
Well,
and it's pretty well executed.
It's only at the beginning, and I mean, they're fleeing in ships. Like, their ship isn't made for combat. Mm-hmm. It's not meant to handle all these little small fighters. You know, like Like how like in Gundam, little small fighters can outmaneuver the bigger ships, or in Macross, small fighters outmaneuver bigger ships, and that's what happens.
Yep. Like that opening scene when the little ships were beating up the bigger ships. I was thinking, is this Macross? Am I just watching Macross? Because the plane designs also kind of remind you of Macross.
They are very old school anime.
Well, this was animated in Japan.
Yeah. The mutants leave, and they chose a planet to land on to rebuild their population.
Might want to clarify that. Like they had like a plan. Like, yeah, we're gonna go to this planet far, far away.
Yeah.
The mutants can't get us, but it's like, oh crap, we're out of fuel. The only other planet we can get to is it's still light years away, but navigation system's messed up.
And this is where all the confusion stems from. This little bit right here, it's very poorly explained. So the old guy decides, okay, you guys need to go into these cryogenic chambers.
Cryogenic.
Cryo-cyro.
Yeah. There's a difference.
What? Do you call it the Cyro later?
What? Are you talking about the gun from Fallout?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Obi-Wan decides that he's going to be the one to pilot the ship, get them to their destination. He's old. He'll age out and die. While the rest of them, they go into these chambers and they age a little bit.
Yes. The only one with any noticeable difference is Lino.
Yes. The old guy, I guess he ages to death?
Yeah, I guess.
But the way they show it...
If you strike me down now, I'll be more powerful than you can ever imagine.
He just turns into a laser.
He turns into a force ghost.
Yes.
And it's like, is that what happens when you age to death and you're a Thundercat? You just turn into a laser and then become a ghost?
When you're an old wise man that has been in many battles, and you just watched Star Wars the day before, and you have to write the script, yeah, that's what happens.
So they land, well, crash land.
Yeah.
And just to get out of the way, yes, Lionel ages tremendously. Wildcat and Wild Kit do not.
At all.
And that brings some questions. Like, were they even kids to begin with, or are they dwarves?
Or maybe there was a malfunction in Lionel's thing.
Or
well, if it was a malfunction, he wouldn't have explained that he was expected to age.
Right, but I'm saying like that's
are
what I'm
the
saying,
twins like anime characters who forever look young?
It's before that time. But I think, the only thing I can think of is why he aged and the others didn't like that is because his like pod malfunctioned and it didn't slow his aging as much.
The aging thing is a little bit of a mystery.
Yeah.
You have to fill in the blanks yourself.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that makes sense. Because they don't.
Was Snarf in the same pod as Lionel?
I think he was in a separate pod.
Yeah. Okay.
He had his own pod.
In the very beginning, Lionel and Snarf were together.
Yeah.
So their pods all the pods split off after the crash.
Yeah, Snarf is like
Lionel and Snarf wake up.
Snarf is like Lionel's pet / nursemaid.
Yes.
Snarf is what happens when a Thundercat decides to have sex with a crocodile.
He's actually a separate species.
Really?
From a
To
separate
explain
planet.
this?
Yeah, he had there's a planet of Snarfs. His nephew just comes to visit.
Okay.
How come they didn't go to Snarf's planet then?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want them to be attacked by the mutants. And they're trying to make a home for the Thundercats. A new kingdom. Far, far away. From Snarf.
On a planet that's already inhabited.
From Snarf's planet.
Mm-hmm. So they won't have to deal with Snarf.
Yeah, but they didn't get far enough. If I remember right. I can't remember if like the Snarf's people colonized a new planet or not. It's been a while.
Here's the thing that I find kind of dickish about Lino. As soon as he figures out, oh, I'm older now, I don't need you, Snarf.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wikied it. They're not from a different planet. They are from planet Thundera, but they got out.
Snarf is smart.
Enough of them got out, and I think they settled a new planet.
Okay.
So that's what happened.
But
What does a lady Snarf look like?
I don't want to know the answer to this question.
I want to know. Provide me with
Well,
this information.
wow.
They do not show any.
Oh,
Okay.
At least not
Okay.
none of significance, none that have a name, so therefore they don't appear in the wiki.
Okay.
All right.
So they're all just. We just assume it's an all male society and they just split off from each other.
Budding.
Yes. Like, whenever a new noble family comes into power, a new Snarf comes in.
Awesome. Snarf and Lionel, they find the mutants because the mutants have found all the other cryogenic chambers.
Never mind, I found it.
A female
Yeah.
Snarf.
Yes.
Is
You
this
got it. You got hit me with that link.
Is this fan art or
This is
real
from the
art?
wiki.
I'm not looking at it.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta see this. Well, that's much better than I expected, but
They
she
just
does have a beard,
they just don't have the full face beard.
and they don't have the nose.
Yeah.
Like her face is human-esque.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Now
looks
keep in
very-
mind, this is actually from a daydream.
Oh,
Okay.
never mind.
Snarf's daydream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, Lionel has to save his friends. He jumps down there. There's a fight scene. Here's the thing that surprised me in basically all of the episodes we've seen. The fights aren't that great.
Yeah.
With that opening, I was expecting more.
High octane action. Like,
Yeah.
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 Here, it's like really slow wrestling.
Yeah.
One guy just got picked up and then everyone ran away.
Yeah.
Does he use the sword here? Like,
He-
actually use it?
Yes, I think.
The
Yeah, at least-
main people that fight are the other Thundercats, I think.
Yeah. He does make the sword big and all that.
Yeah. Because I do have that, Jaga did go ghost mode on his very first episode, but I don't remember why. I think he was just explaining that you can't use the sword for anything, you know.
Can't use
No,
the sword
that-
for evil.
I thought that was second episode.
Well, he says it a lot.
Yeah.
This thing. He said in the second episode he explained you can't use the sword to just attack things
Yeah.
for defense. But he's explained like the sword kind of has a mind of its own and
Yeah.
look through the sword's eye.
Oh,
That's what it was. He
Oh.
looked through the sword's eye when he activated in this episode.
yes. Also, we don't get Mumra in this episode, do we? Because
No.
they just kind of fight them off and then decide, okay, this planet's okay. We can live here.
Yeah, that's kind of how things end.
Yep.
It's a bit lackluster the way it ends, but you know, it's first episode and setting things up.
It does
And
have.
that's clear that it's continuing to set things up.
It is a good origin story.
It's Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, with a team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something that I'm kind of wondering about is why is it called Third Earth? What happened to the first two Earths?
Well, the second one is Planet Bob.
Mumra does reference that it used to be called First Earth, so I'm guessing like the planet has experienced 2 apocalypses. Mumra has lived through all of them.
I'm just kind of expecting, oh, this is the Shadowrun universe. That's a reference that goes over a lot of people's heads.
Yeah, good job, Stray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I know what it is, but I haven't played it. So
Yeah,
it's kind
I
of
haven't played. I've played Shadowrun Returns. I have never played an actual Shadowrun game. I
You
actually,
gonna explain the reference?
basically, I think they split the Earth into few ages, like different ages, and each age, it's kind of alternate between if magic is in the universe, and if it isn't, that's basically the whole reference.
So it's like BC and AD
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, except they're just calling it like Earth 1 and Earth 2.
Yeah, Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3. I don't know if they call it like the first age or second age and stuff like that. I would actually have to look this up, but I don't feel like it right now.
It's alright. We can move on to episode 2.
The Unholy Alliance.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
The Unholy Alliance.
You mean Mumra gets his mooks.
Yeah, pretty much.
Or the Mooks get Mumra.
The mooks find a leader.
No,
By the way, just these first 2 episodes don't count as season 1.
Wait, they count as 0 episodes?
They count as a prologue.
Okay, they count as 0 episodes.
with Mumra in general, he's the big bad of Thundercats. He's got a very good visual to him.
Mm-hmm.
He's always put in comparison with Skeletor.
Yeah, and I feel
And-
like it's unfair comparison. It does Lionel calling on the Sword of Omens does very much evoke a He-Man feel, though.
Well, I always felt like I know Skeletor,
Mm-hmm.
and being compared to Skeletor makes Mumra look good. Because Skeletor, in most incarnations, is no, He-Man. And he just runs away and he loses all the time. Having never seen Thundercats, for some reason I expected Mumra to be more competent.
Mm-hmm.
My expectations were completely crashed
By the end of this episode.
by this episode and the next episode, and I'm assuming every other episode after.
Okay, no, but this episode especially,
This episode especially. So, this episode begins with the Thundercats kind of restructuring. They're getting their luggage out of their crash site. They're trying to organize and, trying to find out where they're going to go from there.
yes.
And Lionel's like, I'm the leader. I'm going to go walk around here and see what I can find. And everyone's like, you need some help, or you want to wait and take care of this before we do that? It's like, no. I'm Lionel. I'm the leader. I do what I want.
Yes.
My
and
full
then,
name is Lionel, leader of the Thundercats. Not Lionel, help me carry this stuff.
well,
And Snarf's like, can I come? And like, no.
I know,
Get your
I'm not
smart
a little
ass away from me.
kid.
I don't need
Don't
you
you see
anymore.
how big I am now?
Straight was saying, Lionel treats Snarf super bad.
Snarf is kind of annoying.
yeah,
But yeah, no,
here's-
Lionel in the first episode is kind of a dick because
Yeah.
he's a little kid that's suddenly grown up, so he feels like he has to act like a grown up. So the grown up doesn't have
Yeah.
time for
How, wait. Question just popped up in my mind because Snarf is basically Lionel's mom.
Mhm.
What happened to Lionel's parents and why weren't they on the
They
show?
did.
They did.
Like,
He's
can we get one of them on that show?
No. He's a prince of a doomed planet. Did you expect his parents to survive?
Well, considering all the nobles were escaping and his parents were nobles.
Well, they're not nobles per se, but they're essentially they're some of the nobles.
Oh,
you can't
Actu-
say they're not nobles.
actually,
Uh,
can
I
we
would-
rewind to the last episode for a second? Jaga puts on a helmet to show he's getting serious.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
That
that happened and we never talked about that and how stupid that just sounds in a sentence.
The episode starts with Jutara with her bosoms out.
Yes.
They are they're basically full frontal bosoms. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't have fast these bosoms.
They,
Wearing a belt and some boots.
yeah. And
Once you accept that, the rest is so much easier.
yeah, I just wanted to reference that because that was just so stupid when I saw it.
In the second episode, Lionel's he's kind of wandering by himself, and meanwhile, the mutants are flying around. Question: this is something I should have asked last episode as well.
They show his death.
How come the mutants didn't age to death?
Yeah.
I think they also got in their like cryo chambers or whatever.
Yeah, but someone should have died.
Yeah.
Someone had to pilot.
No. The only reason Thundercats had to do it is because their computer system messed up. Their
Yeah.
autopilot messed up. So the mutants had their autopilot system working.
Jago was afraid of the autopilot not holding out long enough, so he piloted as long as he could, and then turned on the autopilot, hoping to God that the autopilot would hold out. That was the storyline.
That was all Jaco did.
Yeah.
That was all Jaco was good for.
What I'm surprised about is how the mutants didn't catch up during that time.
I think they just followed them at an equal pace.
Yeah, but couldn't the mutants go at a hard burn and just basically attack the ship while it's still in space?
But they didn't want to destroy the ship.
Yeah, but
They didn't want to risk.
They could have boarded the ship and stolen the sword.
Oh snap!
I think you're right.
That's logical.
That's logical.
Super logical.
Only reason I can think of is it's some kind of like they're traveling like at light speed or something, and they can't risk boarding the ship because it's too dangerous. That's the only thing I can think of. Other than that, you are right, Stray.
I'm sorry, but if it could have followed them all the way to Third Earth, it should have been able to catch up and just steal the sword while everyone else was in a cryo chamber, for God's sakes.
Yep.
I want to know what the mutants' motivation is. Like,
They want the sword.
they're on a whole other planet. I know they want the sword. Why? Why do they care about the Thundercats at all?
Because their planet
is already destroyed.
Because the mutants' planet is essentially destroyed by war and strife, where they fought each other. Then someone united them. So it's like, hey, their planet looks nice, and they have that powerful weapon. I want that power.
Yeah, they want the eye of...
To do what?
Power.
Yeah, power.
By the way, Lion-O has a dad.
Okay.
Of course he does. He's alive.
His dad's not alive.
Yeah,
No,
we know.
Lion-O's alive.
No, I'm saying like
So,
they
of course,
show
he has a
it's not like
dad.
they show his dad. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So the mutants are flying around the planet, and they get hit with this tractor beam when they're flying around jungle Egypt.
No,
And-
it's in Aztec. Oh wait, I'm referencing a movie that people probably want to forget.
So anyway, they're traveling through the desert and encounter ruins.
Yes.
Well, it's not a desert because it's right next to the forest.
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
A bunch of magic pyramids brings their ship down, and they are beckoned by the entity that we will come to know as Mum-Ra.
We ever live
There
in.
were no card games in this pyramid, by the way. Someone had to say it.
Man, can you imagine if they did go in there and it's like Yami Yugi? I need that sword. Why? Because power.
Because it's the last part of this Millennium
Snippy.
puzzle.
I would like to point out something we talked about in the first episode. The lower class, most of them escaped in other ships beforehand.
So the
It's
nobles
just-
were the last people out.
Either the last one to get out or the ones that were targeted most because they had the stuff they wanted.
Why would you send those guys out last?
I'm not saying they went out last. I said they probably went out at the same time, or they were one of the last ones. It's just, but the mutants wanted the Eye of Thundera.
Okay. Why didn't they make a flotilla out of all their ships?
That's what I want to know.
And the only reason I use the word flotilla is because, well, I think everyone here knows what I was referencing there.
No, they don't. Mass Effect.
Okay. There we go.
Well, to continue on our journey. And I will say that this is probably, even though it's the introduction of Mum-Ra, it's probably the least interesting episode of the three.
Yeah.
At least to me.
Yeah, because it's sort of like, here's the guy you're going to be fighting pretty much every episode.
Yep.
The mutants meet Mum-Ra. Mum-Ra pretty much says, listen, I am all powerful and immortal, and I am awesome. You want this sword.
I want
this sword. How do I even know about this sword?
I could
from
see
a
it
planet light years away.
I can see it from here.
Mm-hmm.
I got a good look. When it blew up, that
In
was
my
nice.
cauldron.
That was nice. When it blew up, that was nice. Good job on that. That was nice. But you didn't get the sword. What's wrong with you?
Yeah,
So-
I'm gonna say this now. I think Mumra was originally in Thundera, because there are stories about him in the comics where he does show up.
In New Thundera, because he made New Thundera.
Okay.
Well,
Well, I mean, I thought he fought some of the older
Nope.
Thundercats.
He has always been on Third Earth.
Okay.
I mean, it brings a lot of questions as to his motivations. Like, what is he after? And why? Because basically, Third Earth was just Mumra for a long time, it seems like.
Yeah.
Mumra and some giants and some other things we'll get to, but they're not important because he's Mumra. If he wanted to take over the world, he could have.
There is a possible explanation from a future episode. There is a Thunderian who didn't like peace and just wanted war. He was trapped in like a crystal, like General Zod, and at the end of Superman 2. And he ends up landing on Third Earth. The crystal breaks, and he decides, like, I'm going to take over this planet. And through him, Mumra may have learned about the Sword of Omens.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm thinking. As I remember, like, was there like an evil Thundercat? I looked it up. Yeah, there was, and like, that's what I think, because this is the first episode, and they just said whatever.
Yeah.
But I think like later on they changed stuff, because that seems the thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, the mutants don't really want to deal with Mumra from the get-go. They're like, nah, we can handle this. Mumra's like, you can handle this, huh? So he magically sends the mutants to attack Lion-O.
Mm-hmm.
Lion-O kicks their butt. It's actually he uses the sword, which summons the other Thundercats, I believe.
Yeah, they're supposed to see it and become aware, and they instantly know where he is when they see it.
Yeah. When they first attack Lion-O, they try to cover his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
To prevent him from finishing the chant.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thunder, thunder, Thundercats ho.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But he does it anyway.
Yeah.
I do want to say I will be breaking that back up later. The Thundercats come. There's a little skirmish, but like I said, most of these fights don't last that long. The enemies, they run away instead of actually sticking around to fight, and they get teleported back to Mumra.
Yeah.
So Mumra's like, you idiots. You couldn't get the sword by yourself. See? You need me. I'm awesome. And the mutants are like, well, let's see if you can do any better. So Mumra's like, okay then. And Mumra, he transforms. Because usually he looks like an old woman. And then he became like this huge Conan-esque monster beast.
Yep.
Yes, with like.
Lion-O's alone again.
Yes.
Because he had that pretty much the same dialogue as before. I'm the leader. I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm gonna scout.
Oh, and also Tigra and Shidera. Don't show up for this.
Tigra and Chitara.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just had a at the end of.
You try to go too anime on there.
Yeah, sorry. Don't show up for this fight because I think we know what they're doing.
They're in a cave having snoo.
They were looking for a spot to build their kingdom, but really, we know.
We know.
We know.
It had to be mentioned.
Because even in the first episode, those two were kind of together.
Yeah.
They kind of had chemistry. They kind of paired off. They had the dialogue.
Until
Panthros just on the side.
until Lino gets older.
As a kid, I never noticed that. As I watched the episode, I started noticing it. I started remembering the remake, where that same thing happened. Only Lino isn't a little kid that grew up. He's actually aware of adult stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And Chitara and Tiger have a relationship. Of course, they had to edit most of it out because the creators realized that they focusing too much on it. But they did, instead of focusing less on it, they just pretty much took Chitara out of pretty much everything in the remake.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing about Chitara, for me, is she probably has the best power set. And the most visually pleasing power set.
Speed and that the staff.
Because the rest of them don't technically have superpowers.
Well, I mean, Tiger has that invisibility. I don't know if that's related to his whip or not.
Pampra also just kind of bends fucking steel beams into usable again. Somehow.
Yes. I saw Tiger go invisible in these episodes. I'm like, why and how?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's because of his whip or it's just his ability.
Why?
Maybe he uses his whip as a distraction, so like it distracts.
No, he disappears. He literally disappears and reappears in that first episode.
I don't even think it's invisibility. I think he's French skipping.
It's entirely possible.
French skipping is the ultimate power.
He could be bamfing.
Yes.
No, there's no purple cloud.
Okay, so then he's feral ghouling it.
Yes.
But to continue, Mamara attacks Lionel, and there's a fight, and this is probably the worst fight so far.
And somehow
this is Mamara. This is Lionel. This is the main protagonist. And this is the main villain fighting for the first time. Well, Lionel's sword isn't getting any bigger. I guess it's cold.
No,
and
because of black goo.
Because of black tar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the same weakness as Captain Planet.
Yeah.
And he's just charging at Mamara. And Mamara isn't using his powers. He's just hopping back and forth.
Well, they're just kind of breaking trees and throwing it at each other.
Only explanation I can think of, other than the fact that this is still part of the pilot episode, is I would say Amara. Lionel doesn't know how to fight at all. He just swings his sword around, so he doesn't know how to fight.
That's not true, though. In the first episode, he fought all those mutants by himself before freeing his friends.
I said sword. He doesn't know how to use his sword.
No, you said he doesn't know how to fight at all.
Actually, yeah. Well, I was thinking, I was saying in my mind with the sword.
But the thing about Lionel and Mumra's fight is also they're breaking trees. They're punching hard enough to break down these trees and throw them at each other.
They have power. They just don't have they don't know how to use them. Like Mumra,
none of them have technique.
Mumra hasn't fought in forever, literally for him. So this is him stretching.
Yes, and also we don't even get an origin of where the claw shield comes from. It just kind of shows up and sticks to Lionel's
skin.
And I want an explanation for that.
His skin.
How does that work?
Yeah.
How does Cloud's sword stick to him?
I think he has a strap back there. I would have to check.
Don't check.
Don't.
So yeah, it's not a good fight, but and what you gonna do?
Yeah.
It ends with what's the shield called? Is it just called the Claw Shield, or was it the Death Claw?
Claw Shield, I think.
Claw Shield.
Early on, was it Panther that gave him the Claw Shield?
Tiger.
Tiger gave him a Claw Shield, just in case he needed a Claw Shield, and he did.
That, and it's the sheath for the sword.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. It actually looks cool as a sheath. In fact, it looks cool when he wears it. It's a nice addition to the costume. I approve. They're fighting, and Lionel's blocking with this claw shield, and Mamara sees his reflection, and that scares him off.
Yeah.
The excuse they give is that he is so evil that he can't look at his own reflection because
Was that
he can't
actually the
stand his
explanation?
equal. That's their theory.
Yeah.
That's not the technical explanation. We don't know why it happened, but that's the Thundercats theory.
I'm just here eating these Cheetos.
It's super ridiculous.
Yes.
And it's a very sad end to this fight.
I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, I saw my reflection. Now I have to run away.
Yeah.
I love the way that he started flying. Like, he started flying backwards. And that's a pretty interesting visual to see. Then all the other Thundercats come and, like, they're like, what is that? And Lionel's like, that's Mum Ra, bro. It's Mum Ra. I don't know who he is or what he wants, but he's immortal. That's what he says, so I'm just going to take him at his word.
No, Snippy, that is he can't look at his own reflection.
He just can't look at his reflection.
Yep, they fixed that later on.
Okay.
Well, I didn't say he could.
What we were saying is the
explanation. Yeah, that's just it. He can't look at his own reflection. That's the explanation.
Mumra is one of the most unexplained villains of all time.
Yep.
Okay. Actually, that's basically how it ends. All the
yeah, like that's how this ends.
All the Thundercats looking up at the sky, trying to figure out what happened to Mum-Ra. Mum-Ra goes back to recharge like he's an old cell phone.
Yes.
Yep.
Or a normal cell phone, really.
He's a smartphone.
Yeah. Those things
got like 5 minutes.
Those things eat up batteries, especially when you're playing games on them.
Let's move on to episode 3.
Okay.
This is, it's interesting. It continues to be that episode 3 of whatever we're watching is either the best of what we're watching or the worst of what we're watching.
You consider
I should say this. They made this in episode 4 plus 1 and 2 just one big movie.
So we could have just watched that movie and reviewed that.
Well, I mean, it's the first 2 episodes with parts of 3 and 4 put into it to make it one big movie.
This episode is called Burbles. It's about burbles,
which are basically
burbles. They're Ewoks.
They're Ewoks. They're robot Ewoks.
This is so Star Wars, you guys.
Uh-huh.
It is so Star Wars.
Yeah, it kind of hurt.
So in the very beginning, you see Mum-Ra again.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically not saying anything important, talking to his mutant friends. I also should mention, this is not important to what we're talking about, but in the future, like for future episodes, it might be of some context to you. The other guys, they can't call for backup because their ship sank into the planet.
Yep.
So they're on their own.
Because of Mum-Ra.
Yeah.
In Star Wars.
So Panthro, he finishes this mole machine just in time for boulders to begin to fall from the sky, which is never fully explained.
I just blame Mum-Ra.
It rains boulders.
Yeah. That's why it's Earth.
Oh no, it was a hailstorm. It was a hailstorm. That's what it was.
Oh.
That did not look like hell.
Yeah, that looked like rock.
They ran out of blue.
Can you guess what happens? Lionel decides to wander off by himself.
God, is this going to become a pattern?
It's interesting that Lionel is supposed to be the team leader, but he doesn't seem to care about leading his team.
He doesn't care about his team unless he's in trouble.
So, yeah, unless they can back him up.
Yeah.
This time Snarf goes with him now.
Yes.
And this is the best fight scene so far. Snarf feels like he's getting watched. And Lionel's like, you're being paranoid, Snarf. I'm Lionel. I know everything. And then they get... Well, I don't know if they technically got attacked by the Space Rhino, or if the Space Rhino is just there, and Snarf decides to attack it.
Yeah.
There's a very thin line. But Snarf attacks the Space Rhino, and like I said, it's the best physical fight scene in the show up to this point.
Because Snarf is just moving around and actually putting up a good fight.
Yeah. Snarf got some dukes.
Yes.
So after defeating the Rhino, Lionel falls into a hole that comes out of nowhere.
Yes.
And after falling into this hole, he becomes William Shatner.
Yes.
I must overact right now.
The other
Can't
thing,
get out of this hole!
doesn't the claw shield actually have a hook chain function to it?
No, I don't think
It's
so.
not something we've seen up to this point.
You might be
so I wouldn't
thinking of the tank. I know the tank has something like that, but
I know
I
the
don't think
remake had that.
well, it's the remake then. There you go.
Yeah. Because they.
Oh, the claws can shoot out.
Yeah. But we never see this function.
No, in this series, like in this episode, no.
Okay.
But what we do see is Snarf and Lionel getting lassoed by some robot teddy bears.
Yes.
Yep.
Our burbles.
The Mecha Ewoks.
I really only understood half of the things that they were saying.
I know. They're
70% of the time, like at the very beginning, I didn't understand anything.
yeah.
At the end, I feel like it got clearer.
Yes.
But at the beginning, it's like...
So
I have
they
no idea
are
what the
paw bear?
fuck. Ha! That was the first Earth.
Yeah.
The Mecha Ewoks, the Burbles, they tied the Lionel and Snarf to some pikes, and they call their great leader,
Mm-hmm.
whose name is, what's it, Bill?
Yes, Verbal Bill.
Yeah, Robert Bill.
Oh,
Verbal
Robert
Bill?
Bill.
Robert Bill.
Yes.
That's a difficult name.
Let's call him Bill.
Besides,
Let's call him Bill.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
The Burbles are kind of mechanical in nature, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Bill must have been constructed with darker fur than everyone else, and basically be told he's the leader. And
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
also, there only seems to be one female Burble.
Well, we were getting to that.
Sorry.
Because it's just a quick sentence. Bill decides that Lionel and Snarf aren't dangerous, and they take them back to the city, where they're kind of warmly welcomed by the rest of the Burbles. And you do see the one female Burble.
Yes. So
And
this
where was she? Where was she? In the kitchen.
Yeah.
Come
she
on,
is
guys.
the Smurfette of these
Yes.
people.
Actually,
By the way, she is called
was not.
Robert. She's called Robert Bell.
Yeah. The good thing is that she's a robot. She probably doesn't have to go through the same "we all need to have sex with you in order to save our people" thing that Chitara is going to go through.
Yes.
And then eventually
also-
Wily Kit will go through.
It's so terrible. Oh, they don't have a future. So
they have the
deal.
cloning technology.
Here's the deal with the Burbells. The Burbells. They're farmers.
Yeah.
They farm delicious fruits for everybody to eat, which is good because Obi-Wan Kenobi won't let Lionel kill animals.
Yes. They had candy fruit. They must have. I guess they have meat fruit in there somewhere.
Oh, good. We're going to Monster Rancher.
I'm just going to guess there's meat fruit. They also have this rainbow-colored vegetable field.
Yeah. They're very... It's like a Care Bear
Yeah.
thing they got going on, in addition to the Ewoks thing.
Yeah.
But they keep getting attacked by the Road Rovers.
Yes.
Because the Road Rovers need their fruit to trade to some Trollocs.
I thought they were
Which are-
called giant somethings.
No, you're right. The Trollocs are the Road Rovers,
Okay.
which are just bulldog people.
Yes. And the Robert people have the stun darts that look like bullets that come out of blow dart guns.
Yes, like African bulldogs.
Yes.
The Trollocs, they do attack, and the bears, they do hit them with the blow darts, but they said it's not going to do anything. this happens all the time.
Yeah.
And we just let it happen because we feel bad for them.
Because
the Trollocs have this thing with the what did you say their name was?
Gigantors or whatever.
Giant
The
man.
Giantars.
Yeah.
It was Giantars.
Yeah,
And,
Giantars.
which are basically the humans of this world.
They have humans on
Yes.
the planet.
You mean they have legitimate
They have
humans
legitimate
on this
humans on the planet.
Why haven't we met them yet?
Because you haven't met them yet.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
We meet the mecha Ewoks before we meet the humans, apparently.
Well, yeah.
well, the Giantars, they have control of the one thing that the Road Rovers eat.
Yes. Which is
And
these plants.
like
Leaves
basically
off this
eucalyptus.
tree. Yes. They're basically koalas that look like bulldogs.
Yeah. And the Giants are like, listen, you want these plants? You either take us down, or you go down there and you get some fruit from those Ewoks. And the Bulldogs can't fight those giants. So they attack the Ewoks. And they get the fruit, and they return it, and give the fruit to the giants so that they can get the eucalyptus.
And the Ewoks know all of this. They
Yes.
still put up a fight because it would seem wrong not to.
Right.
But
The Ewoks
they
are from
could-
a different planet.
Yes, we know. But so,
But I know what you mean. I know, because they're pretty
Yeah.
much Ewoks.
yeah.
So,
But the thing about it is, why don't they just leave baskets of these fruits out for them?
That would have been nice.
Like,
no,
they are-
Stray, you're thinking too much sense.
like
Can't have that.
they know they feel bad and they have enough fruit to give to them because
Because they give it to the Thundercats.
yeah, like why not just give them the fruit, trade with them, make sure that they get the leaves, and everyone's happy.
No, it's too much.
Well, it's also weird that the giants just don't do it themselves.
Yes,
And it gets weirder later.
yes.
When they do
So-
do it themselves.
Yeah, when they do it themselves. When the Bulldogs attack, Lionel intervenes by using a shield.
Yes.
And then just, like, isn't this cool?
Doesn't
yeah.
he
Doesn't this look cool?
You want to get this toy, right, kids? You want to get this toy, right? You want to get this toy, though,
But
right?
he says,
And he basically just, he pulls a doctor and swags all the enemies away.
not even. They just kind of throw themselves against the shield a little bit and run away.
Yeah. When they go back, they don't talk. It's actually a silent scene, more or less.
I think
And that
it
makes
is
a little-
a silent scene
Yeah, and then it makes it a little extra tragic. The
when
Bulldogs are like, listen, we tried, and we got beat up. Can we please have some of that sweet eucalyptus? And John's like, no. He takes a tree and he throws it off the cliff and like, you can't do it, we'll do it ourselves.
yeah.
And they attack. Not much happens between the attacks. These two attacks happen very quickly.
Yes.
And that's the other thing, because it seems like the giants only live like 6 feet away.
Yeah. They live up a mountain, but the mountain is pretty fast to go up, apparently.
It had to have been super close.
Yes. It's like down the road.
Yeah.
It is
It's a hop skip in a way.
It's literally down the road.
There's another fight scene.
Lino does the same thing, except he summons the Thundercats this time because Snarf
Yeah.
asked him to.
And we do get a little, we get, for the first time in a while, we get to see the Thundercats putting forth an effort that feels like an effort.
Yeah.
You know, they're not really struggling or anything, but it feels like they're using their techniques. Like, this is where Tigra, what's it, I keep forgetting
Tigra.
it.
Yeah, Tigra.
Tigra. It's because it ends with an A, so I'm thinking feminine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, this is a good fight. I enjoyed this fight.
Yeah,
You know, because
but
you get to see a
Lino
little bit of what
is
they could
just standing there with the
do.
shield.
Using his shield.
He doesn't do shit. He has the most lethal weapon out of him, and what does he do? Stand there and act as a shield.
And this is where Mumra comes back. See Mumra again. He comes out like,
They now will
I see.
have an infinite source of food if they
yeah.
join up with these guys. I must stop this. So he becomes a locust that splits
He becomes
off.
a swarm. Yeah,
He becomes
one
a
locust.
swarm of locusts. He becomes
That becomes a swarm of locusts.
And then-
It's very much like this episode of Superman where the alien bugs just split into other bugs.
and did you notice at one point the swarm of locusts got together and had the image of a locust, and Lionel's like, that looks strange or something like that?
Yes.
I'm like,
That's
you don't
the
say.
normal
You
locust.
don't say.
And then it becomes a giant locust.
I mean, I'm pretty sure my first reaction would have been, I don't know if this is normal or not.
Well, this is for Nerf. We have seen space rhinos.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if it's normal or not. The hail size of boulders, I don't know what's going on here.
We don't know what normal is on this planet.
Yes.
This is the type of thing that I was kind of expecting Mumra to do from the beginning. Like, that fight he had before was so bad, and now it's a little. Well, it's complicated, but now he's using his magic. He's using what he has to his advantage.
So he becomes a giant locust.
Yeah. You think that his plan would be to swarm all of the food, eat all of the food, and then leave. That wasn't his plan at all.
He just wants to fight Lino.
Mumra,
He just wanted to fight life.
he's super butthurt that he lost.
He doesn't care at all
He's
about
so
the food.
petty.
Which is weird because that's the reason he left.
Yes.
So this is what happens. Lionel rides on this locust. He goes locust wrangling. Yeah, Mumra basically just throws him off in the volcano.
By becoming the swarm again.
Yes. What does he do afterwards? He doesn't go back to eat the fruit. He doesn't go back to attack all the other Thundercats while their leader is doing something else. He doesn't even stick around to see if Lionel dies or not. He goes straight home.
He's like, I dropped Lino into a volcano. It's fine. He should die.
I feel like the reason that Mumra hasn't succeeded is because he's lazy.
Or he just has too low of a time limit outside his pyramid.
Man, if you're gonna leave for like 3 minutes, just use the mutants.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get us hyped up. It's like, oh yeah, Mumra's stepping up on the field, and now he's playing around a little bit, and now he's gone.
Yeah.
It turns out that, hey, not only can Lionel make a shield, but he can fly in a Thor kind of way.
Yes.
You didn't know that. I understand why, but then Obi-Wan shows up. He's like, hey, if you call that sword and tell him to get you out of here, it will. So Lionel kind of flies out of the volcano and back to where the Ewoks are.
Yes.
Definitely make me question, what is the limit of the sword's power?
On whatever you imagine it to be.
Oh my god, if that's the limit of this.
Are you serious?
I do not know. Its limit is whatever the plot needs it to be.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the Voltron sword.
Yeah.
So after that fight, the giants have been dealt with. Okay, they're gone. Murmur went back to recharge his cell phone. The Ewoks are like, hey, you guys are pretty cool. Thank you for saving us. You don't see the Bulldogs again. I would like to see the Bulldogs again. But the Ewoks are like, thank you for saving us. You know what? Let's have a feast. It's very Thanksgiving. Two different types of people coming together, eating together as a sign of peace before one completely destroys the other one. They talk about building their temple or castle, whatever it is they're going to build.
Yep. Cat Slayer.
And the Ewoks are like, listen, we can help. You guys are just purely human things. We're robots. This is what we do. That's how this episode ends.
Yes.
Like I said, this was my favorite episode.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought the fighting was better. I liked the Rhino fight with Snarf.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea that Snarf can actually do something.
Other than be Snarf.
And
It will never do anything ever again.
Yes.
I like the Giant Tar fight. And the locust wrangling was fun.
I liked the whole
But-
idea of him becoming the locust swarm.
Yeah,
That's
and
we're never
I-
going to see that power again, though.
probably not. I like the world building.
Yeah.
In this episode.
No, honestly, I feel like I can see why people like this show, because the world is actually not that bad. It's not well explained, but what TV show really is without hitting your head over a table with exposition.
Plenty.
And this is
Okay.
still technically the pilot.
Yes.
Overall, it's like Stray was saying. There are some flaws when you watch it. I mean, other than the fight scenes, which again, at this point in time, of the 3 episodes that we've seen, kind of disappointed me for the most part.
Mhm.
Because that opening was so dynamic and
Yes.
fast, and I was expecting the fight scenes to be,
Well,
dynamic. Johnny Quest had better fight scenes.
but the fight scenes here all felt like they basically took the animation from the opening and just restructured it. Honestly, that's what it looks like to me most of the time.
I'm not surprised you feel that way because everyone does have basically one gimmick,
Yeah.
and they just use that gimmick over and over.
Yes.
Yep.
No, it does a lot of things well. The animation is good. You could tell, like I said, they are building something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at first, I did get the feeling that, yeah, they have ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
This feels pretty ambitious, but I felt like at the same time they're like, but we're not going to explain this, this, and this because it's a kids show
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't matter. But as you've heard throughout this podcast, every time I'm like, well, they didn't explain this, this, and this. T.Whales came out from the side out of nowhere and be like, yeah, but in another episode they explained this, this, and this, and then they explained that. Drop the mic.
Yeah, like I said, like these first 4 are really, really a pilot. They're setting up. Like they don't even get their base till episode 4. And that's when the story actually starts and they start building up to stuff like
Mm-hmm.
the rest of the Thunderians and Mumra getting more evil. And hey, we killed Mumra. No, we didn't. He's back. And more of the mutants and like more of like stuff from the past coming back to get them.
With Thundercats, there is definitely a sense of a bigger picture. And that is why I asked questions. There was, you remember Hercules, right?
Yep.
And what's he, like, Mytor and stuff like that, Love that stuff.
Yep.
But I'd never asked questions.
Yep.
Because it never had a sense of a bigger picture.
Yeah.
It all seemed very episodic. You just take it as it is.
Yeah.
So this definitely had, ambition. It had that larger picture. It had a mythology that we were building up that made you ask questions. And unfortunately, I didn't get to those answers in these 3 episodes.
Yeah.
But if you're patient enough to wait for that,
We might be able
I feel like
to
this
get
is,
Like,
some more answers.
like
yeah, this is, go
I was
ahead.
gonna say back in the day, it was a lot easier for a show that didn't have like the super best rating to be able to continue to build. Because from what I hear, this show, like after a while, had low ratings. And that's probably because they kept building the world too much, and it kind of got confusing.
Yeah, I
But
think
like,
I think
And also
the
because
more
they got tired of Momra getting beaten up every episode.
I think the more episodic shows get better ratings because it's just easier to tune in, watch it, and then come back for more, maybe not, right?
Thundercats, it's more like the later episodes that are more episodic in a way, but like most of the series is sort of one-off villain of the day type of thing, or Mumra attacks this way type of thing.
I was thinking about it in a Power Rangers kind of structure.
That's how
it does have an overarching plot line.
Yeah, that's how it
but
is.
it's very Monster of the Day.
It's like Power Rangers. I mean, the best stuff in it are the multi-parters.
Mm-hmm.
Like they have like 5-part episodes.
5 parts, really?
5 parts.
Wow.
That is season 1 finale is 5 parts,
Wow.
and it ends with them killing Mumra.
But
First
Mumra
time.
comes back.
The first time. Yeah.
There's no
But
question about Mumra coming back. Mumra
but
is ever living.
the season 1 finale counts as season 1.5. Like I said, it's a 5-part. And
It's
then
basically half the season.
season 2 starts off. No, because like season 1 is 65 episodes.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Season 2 begins with a 5-parter.
Like I said, at the very beginning, never interested in Thundercats.
Mhm.
Having watched these 3 episodes, still not that interested, but I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can't help but to respect it. Like I said, the animation is Japanese, so it's good, especially for its time. I still have no problem watching it, other than the fact that when they were naked, it looked like they were wearing underpants for some
That
reason.
gets retconned later on.
I think if you've ever been interested in Thundercats,
Go
like
for
if
it.
you've had that spark, yeah, go for it. Because
You might be disappointed, but
It
you might
ends
also find something that you like, right?
here it's just good. Like for me, it's just good enough for me to call it good. Like in comparison to all the other things, but sounds like it gets much better.
You know what? Let me go ahead and give my opinion since Snippy did his. I like the show. I grew up with the show. Like, I'm not fanatical about it, but I like it. This is my childhood, kind of, sort of. I had no idea what was going on when I was a kid, but I started learning. This was one of the earlier shows that made me realize story structure. Just when they had story,
Mm-hmm.
and I was
Yeah, this being back in the 1980s,
yeah.
there definitely wasn't a lot of cartoons like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was 8 years old when this came on Toonami, along with Voltron and the Real Adventures of Johnny Quest in '97.
I mean, Stray didn't exist yet.
No, I existed.
No, you didn't.
Well, Stray, you're the last one.
Yeah, I was just waiting for this. Opinion-wise, I like it. I would watch more, but probably just something to, haha, let's put this on kind of thing. It has interesting ideas, and I would like to see where it goes, but I don't think I have the time to watch all of it.
130 episodes. Yeah, no.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. Like, if someone went, like, let's watch Thundercats, I would never say, no, let's not, unless we were just trying to watch something really bad. It's a good show, and if you want to check it out, go right ahead, because I can't say more than what has already been said, really.
All right, everybody. Next week, we will be returning to more typical kinds of cartoons.
Hanna-Barbera-ish, Warner Brothers-ish.
Are we going to Hanna-Barbera again?
Well, someone already knows what we're doing here, and let me tell you, you don't know what this is.
Okay.
I don't know what this is. Nobody knows what this is. So, join us next time on Cartoon Kilowatt for the surprise cartoon that we'll be taking a look at. And of course, if you would like, hit us up with some comments on SoundCloud. You can email us at cartoonkilowatt@gmail.com, or you can look us up on YouTube. Thank you for joining us today. We hope you have I don't know when this is coming out. I'm not even going to mention.
Happy holidays.
We hope you enjoy Star Wars and Deadpool.
Yeah, in that order.